Hello physical fiends, it's Jordan here with a new video series I want to call Hyped Physical Releases. Physical releases I am personally excited about. I did consider making this video about like general hype, not only my personal hype, because let's face it, if it's a JRPG, I'm probably going to be excited about it and it will be in this video. So yeah, let me know if you'd like a more general focus about the most exciting physical releases, or you want me to keep it personal. Let me know in the comments below. So what am I excited about? Let's have a look. Tomb Raider 1 to 3 Remastered is one I'm very much looking forward to. This is releasing physically on Switch, PS4 and PS5 in October at retail. I believe Limited Run also had an Xbox version which won't be at retail. This is coming in a standard and deluxe edition, and I'm just so happy this exists. Not only is it a packed release, but it respects the source material while also offering something for newcomers. I'm personally more into the original visuals because I'm over 30, but I think it's just amazing that this package exists. Back when games felt cool and adventurous, and also believed in the player to figure out stuff by themselves. I genuinely can't wait for it. It's coming in a standard edition, and at retail there's also a deluxe edition which also looks great. And if you want to pre-order it or any of the other games in this video, please consider using the links in the description and pinned comment. You can get them from Video Games Plus and support me in the best way possible. They're a great company with free worldwide shipping if you purchase something over 80 Canadian dollars, which is about 60 American dollars, not too much. Plus, if you do purchase via the links, then you also get put into a draw to have a chance of winning a $10 discount coupon. And I announce the winner every week on Switch Watch in my Let's Get Physicals video, okay? So yeah, thank you so much. And what else am I excited about? Suikoden 1 and 2 HD Remaster. This is the one physical release I am not going to shut up about until it sells like 1 million copies, because I really love these two games and I really think they deserve success. This is their third chance, at least in the West. First in their original releases on PlayStation 1, then digital downloads on PSN for a short time, and then now these remakes on modern consoles. In terms of JRPGs, they are essential. Like, trust me on this. They are a connected story. Even though the first game has a solid ending and the second game doesn't retcon that, like, they come together in perfect harmony to create a masterpiece of political intrigue, epic war, wonderful battles. I love everything about these games. In March next year, that's when it's releasing physically on Switch, PS5 and Xbox Series. Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster has somehow taken a backseat to Suikoden for me, probably because this is the second chance on the Switch rather than something new, and PS4 by the way. It's a very anticipated, since now you can get an ESRB version and a PEGI version of the Pixel Remaster without selling a kidney. Think about that. This is the anniversary edition, which comes with some stickers. You get 3 of the best retro JRPGs ever made, plus 3 really good and historically relevant JRPGs as well. 6 games together. It's more than worth the asking price in my opinion, and it's releasing physically on Switch, PS4 in October. If you missed out before and you don't have the Asian release, well, now you don't have an excuse. Broken Sword, The Shadow of the Templars Reforged. The first Broken Sword game is one of my favorite games of all time, one of the best point-and-click adventure games ever made. It's a serious story, but with a nice tinge of humor, and it sets the tone perfectly. It's got the perfect balance. George is such a likable everyman, and the history-filled mystery inspired like 100 other stories in books, films, games. This is a remake featuring HD artwork up to 4K, depending on the console, and there are multiple editions available on Switch, PS5, and in Europe there's also an Xbox version too. Check the breakdown video I made about it, since it is really kind of complicated and there are lots of different editions. If you watch that, it's like 4-minute, 5-minute video, it will clear everything up for you. The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom is the #1 Nintendo game I'm looking forward to currently. So much so, the second it was announced, I put my hands across the screen to cover it over just so I wouldn't be spoiled by, what it was showing. I wanted to go in completely blind. Of course, I think there may be a bit of culture shock when gamers get their hands on it, since, despite the looks, I think it's going to play incredibly differently than your standard Zelda game, which may disappoint some, but I'm really looking forward to letting my creative juices flow in, how to solve puzzles and do battles in the game. Hopefully there's lots of different ways to approach stuff, and the game is releasing very soon, only on Switch, as you'd expect. Sky Ocean's Wings for Hire is supposed to be inspired by Skies of Arcadia, and while I can see the merit in that, I don't think it's gonna, quite hit those levels of legendary status, but it looks like a fun enough air combat game. It mentions JRPG in there, but I don't know, I'm not seeing that. Visually simplistic, but at least it's bright and colourful. Hopefully it shares the same adventurous feeling as Skies of Arcadia. I'm not going to get overly hyped about it, even though I will certainly give it a go for this channel when it releases in October on Switch and PS5. Ys X, or Ys 10 Nordics, is releasing on Switch, PS4 and PS5 in late October. I'm hyped about this one, even though I didn't actually play 9 as of yet, and it will be a while before I get to this one, even though I may take it for a spin in a preview video for the channel. I kind of want to go through the entire series in order. After making a retrospective about Ys 1 and 2 over on A Bit More Jordan, I just want to go through them in order. But this is coming in a deluxe edition, which has a download code for a soundtrack, as well as a mini art book. Ys Memoire, The Oath of Felghana. I think maybe, just maybe, I'm looking forward to this one a bit more, since this is a remake of the third game in the series, and a year or two ago I did play through 1 and 2, so this would be next on my plate. I've been putting off playing the PSP English release since I'd hoped that the Switch port would eventually get a release in the West, and it is. Sure, we're having to wait until next year, but it is what it is. They probably didn't want to step on NIS America's toes with Nordics. Best to give it, some breathing space. It's releasing on Switch and PlayStation 5 in March, and is coming in a really nice mini collector's edition. Dragon Quest III HD 2D Remake is releasing physically on Switch, PS5 and Xbox in November. A lot of people are really hyped for this one. The cover art alone is enough to make parts of one's body swell. The game is looking gorgeous in HD 2D with really nice sprite work. I remember playing the other version that's currently available on the Switch many years ago now, and I was very impressed by it, even though, it wasn't presented in the best way due to the mobile style remake, but ain't no complaints from me about this one. Romancing Saga 2 Revenge of the Seven is the latest JRPG remake from Square Enix, and this is the one I'm most interested in, since I think it's one that's going to be the most different from the original. It's a full 3D remake of what I believe is the most well-loved game in the Romancing Saga franchise, or the Saga franchise as I say, at least from a Japanese perspective. Known for its non-linear structure, everyone will have a different experience with this game, as it's a story that spans generations from different characters' perspectives, depending on which empire you choose at the start. It looks great, and it's releasing physically October 24th on Switch and PlayStation 5. Tai, the Tasmanian Tiger Bush Rescue Bundle, is a triple pack of games including Tai 1, Tai 2, and Tai 4. Sadly, they want to forget Tai 3 it seems, but hey, you get 2 fun 3D platformers from the PS2 era, as well as a modern-ish game that went for a far more boring 2D approach. Not sure why they did that, aside from it being, easier to make. But hey, this is the most complete package you can get. Previously, there was a release with Tai 1 on its own, and another release with Tai 1 and a download code for Tai 2, but all 3 games are here on one cartridge, and it's coming in a standard edition as well as a deluxe edition on October 25th. Donkey Kong Country Returns HD, believe it or not, is maybe my most hyped Nintendo release outside of Zelda. Despite being originally a Wii game, I played it on my 3DS, and I think I 100%ed it, or, whatever constitutes as that. You know how Donkey Kong games can be a bit weird with 100%ing, and if I didn't do that, I came very, very close to it, playing the bonus levels and stuff, and I had such an amazing time. It's one of the best platformers I've ever played, and yes, it's the 3rd time coming back, and yes, it's certainly not going to be 25 quid, which is what I bought the 3DS version for at launch. It's pricier, and not much has been added, and in fact some have speculated that some things have been lost in this remaster in terms of visual touches, but we're still quite a ways off yet. I think if you haven't played this before, you should. It's excellent. I do advise picking up the Japanese release though, since it's much cheaper than the Western one. It's releasing on the Switch in mid-January. Curse Crackers is one of Premium Edition Games' pre-orders that are currently open. I know, I work with Premium Edition games, so it feels like there's some insidious collusion in here, but I want to be honest with you guys. They have a good few pre-orders open right now, but if I had to pick the one that I think is the best of the best, it's Curse Crackers. It is such a good game, a fantastic platformer that's all acrobatic, and it looks like it was on the NEOGEO Pocket Color with its brilliant art style. And if you're a fan of indie platformers like Shantae, or like classic Sonic, you will really enjoy this, I promise you. It's a criminally underrated game in my opinion. There's a retro edition, as well as a standard edition that you can go for. You can pre-order it via premiumeditiongames.com right now. Now, there are also plenty of import games coming later this year, but I have to admit, none of the exclusives have really got my balls tingling. Like, there's some decent stuff, interesting and nice, but there are only 2 releases that I am genuinely excited for, and those are NEOGEO Selection Volume 1 and, believe it or not, NEOGEO Selection Volume 2. 20 games over 2 cartridges, SNK NEOGEO games. It's just something I've been asking absolutely years for. Like, since they started pumping these out since like 2017, I can't believe it's taken this long. And I know some people have complained about the game selection for not being as ordered as they could be, like having all the Metal Slug games together, having all the King of Fighters games together, but for me personally, that would make them less interesting. I love the variety they have here. Like, for me, having 6 Metal Slug games on 1 cartridge, it sounds nice, but I think I'd get sick of them about halfway through, Here, you can jump between genres, experiencing games you otherwise might not have tried. I think it's a fantastic way to, try something new. Broaden your horizons. You have shmups, fighters, beat 'em ups, run and guns, puzzles, sports, so many things that I genuinely wouldn't be mad if they made 11 volumes of this. I mean, people are still eating up all the Kemco collection, so why not these? And if you want to pre-order these 2 games, you can do so with the Play Asia links alongside VGP. And with Play Asia, if you click the link for those, you can also get 5% off with the coupon code Jordan24. That's also a fantastic way to support me. Just remember to click the link first. So, those are my most hyped releases coming up in like this year and early next year. What about you? Which ones are you most excited about? Again, please let me know. Would you like this series to keep going? Would you like me to extend it to just general hype that I think other people would be hyped about, Because I'm a very specific guy, okay? If it's got cards in it, I ain't gonna put it on this list, but I'm sure some of you may be very excited for, a card game roguelike deck builder, you weirdos. But yeah, let me know, and I would be happy to accommodate everyone if you're interested in that, okay? Have a good day, take care.